What's going on, Blurs, Nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the Sensei of the Syndicate, here with another episode of, I'm going to call this one Wrestling with the BS. So, as you know, all of us
You
here
missaid
and some other
wrestling. Article.
wrestling,
It's
wrestling with
wrestling. Yes. Thank
wrestling.
you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from up north, so it's wrestling up north. But now I've been down here long enough. It should be wrestling.
You pronouncing too
Wrestling.
many of your letters. You don't need to do that. It's
I'm enunciating
wrestling.
too much. Wrestling with the BS. So, what we're here to talk about. Everybody's a big wrestling fan here. So there's stuff that happens in front of the camera, and then there's things that happen behind the camera. And it's been a very busy week if you've been a wrestling fan. So, for those of you guys who don't know, this weekend or this prior weekend was just WrestleMania. So. Now it used to be where it was just on one day on Sunday and it was like 4 or 5 hours. They have broken it up to 2 nights since the pandemic, and then on top of that, they have NXT, and so it was roughly about 8 to 10 hours of wrestling just for WWE and the brand. So it's been a crazy weekend, and then on top of that. On Monday, there was news that WWE, which was a publicly traded company, but was owned by Vince McMahon. He sold the company, and so it is no longer owned by Vince McMahon, and so it's actually owned by Endeavor, which are the same people that actually own the UFC. So, and they plan on merging the companies to one large conglomerate entertainment company. So it's crazy. So, Alan is in here. AEW.
Alan?
So yeah. So it's been a crazy weekend for us, fellas. Well, before we start talking about the merger and all the rest of that crazy stuff, how did you like WrestleMania?
Well, I'll jump in. So, what's going on, everybody? I really enjoyed WrestleMania. I really did. I was probably on the odd man out. I do think night one had some better matchups and better matches, but I think night two was also pretty good. I know I ain't gonna get into all that, but I really enjoyed WrestleMania this year. It's probably one of my favorite WrestleManias in a good minute, and I will talk about it we'll talk about the matches when we get into it. But yeah, I really enjoyed WrestleMania. I enjoyed the whole weekend. Actually, I haven't watched Ring of Honor, but NXT Stand and Deliver, excellent, man. They had some really, really good matches. Same thing, like I said, in WrestleMania to cap it off, night one, night two, everything was really good, man.
I agree with him too, man. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought that night two had on paper, night two looked like the better night. I like night one way better. It's like the passion was there, almost like they felt like they had to compete because they were put on night one, and it's like they just felt like they had to show out and set the tone for that, for WrestleMania, and they did. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if, since we already kind of touched on the Endeavor merger, I don't know if it was because that news kind of, or the rumor, so to speak, kind of broke earlier in the day. But I said this to somebody else. I felt like the talent. I felt like it affected the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah. Me personally. So I watched WrestleMania night one live, and then also I watched night two live as well, and then I came back to watch NXT. My favorite wrestling that went on was on Saturday, and it's just great that like you said, there was kind of like an edge to night one, because it's almost like, when you're on the first night, that means that sometimes you're not. It's almost like that nomenclature that they feel like they're not as good as to be on the second night, and they definitely came with it. Some could say that they stood and delivered. So that's I really enjoyed that.
I saw what you did there.
Uh-huh. So, so
And
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't touch on NXT, man, but NXT Stand and Deliver, it brought back memories of old takeovers.
It
Mhm.
did.
They really
It
did. They showed up. They showed up.
I hadn't seen it because we did a preview after night one, or like a prediction show, and Husky and Sir both were like, you need to watch, NXT Stand and Deliver. So when I watched it, and then when I saw all that was going on, I was thoroughly pleased. The dude Axiom, not only does he has the best entrance I've ever seen in my life. Like if I get WWE 2K23, I just want his entrance. I won't even have to change anything. I'll just have that. You know what I mean? I may throw some pyro in there, but that's about it. And Sir made a good point last time that like they have that new generation, especially in that Wesley match for the North. Yeah,
my guy.
Man, all of them was crazy.
Yes,
like
yes.
Man, if somebody kicked me in the face like that, we got problems. All right, ain't no. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and like I said, I love Wesley. Like I said, I remember I was watching him since he got there when he was in the tag team. I can't think of the name of the tag team they were, or just, but it was
MSK.
Yeah,
MSK. That's what it was. It was him and a dude named, I think, Nash Carter or something like that. But Wesley, he has been holding down the title. A lot of people don't know about Ilya Dragunov. Bruh. Wait, go watch some of his matches out. I know he did really well in that match. Go watch some of his things. Dude is amazing. I think him and they changed his name to JD McConical, but it was
Jordan Devlin.
It used to be Jordan Devlin, and him and them two been feuding. But Ilya, Axiom, I can't wait. I don't know a whole lot about Dragon Lee, but I'm looking for. He did really well in the match. But like I said, NXT is in good hands. I feel the future of WWE was in good hands, but they're gonna have as of right now.
It may not be.
Yeah.
So, did you guys have a favorite match of the weekend?
So I just wanted before I get to that, I wanted to ask you real quick. Did you follow NXT UK at all?
For me?
Yeah,
I did.
All right, y'all remember A Kid
Mm-hmm.
from the Heritage Cup? That's
Mhm.
who Axiom is. They just put him in the match.
Oh,
Okay.
makes sense.
So
Okay.
Axiom is A Kid. I like the fact that they started to bring those UK guys over. I know
Mhm.
all of them ain't gonna make it, but like I was really glad to see Gallagher, show up. I was never a fan of Pretty Deadly, but they entertained me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
they were really funny, especially when
Cool.
they were going to the locker rooms and stuff. And he was like, "Hey, listen,
Right.
the last time we talked to him, he speared both of us." He was like, "Well, let's leave him alone." All right.
right. It's hard for me to say I had a favorite match from the weekend because I consumed so much wrestling, man. But that NXT North American Championship match was top
Mhm.
3.
Yes, it was.
I really, honestly, man, I enjoyed the Charlotte Real Ripley match way more than I expected.
Mhm.
The whole
It started
what
off
match?
super slow.
Charlotte and
yeah.
Charlotte and Real.
Oh,
It started out super slow, but about 12, 15 minutes in, they got busy. And the only match that I put second to that was the tag match because all of the emotion was there, and they made the right call. They did. The Usos didn't need to hold on to them titles no longer. So they made the right call with that one. Sunday, I didn't really have a favorite match Sunday, man. I think it was I enjoyed the entrances more than I probably enjoyed an actual individual match about Sunday. But if I had to pick one, probably the Hell in a Cell before Finn got busted open and they had to put.
Yeah,
Oh,
He
that ladder messed him up.
He had a gate. That wasn't fun
Yeah.
at all.
At all.
So, what about you, Husky?
So like I said, NXT. I really enjoyed the card at NXT from the top match. Like I said, the NXT North American Championship. That was the top match from that. Night one. I'm probably gonna have to give it to Charlotte and Rhea for night one for me as well, man. I like I said, I enjoyed a lot of the matches. I really enjoyed the tag team. I enjoyed I even enjoyed, because I thought this was the tag team rumble they did with the Fortune. I really enjoyed that. And once again, I said it when we did the preview of night 2. Shout out to Angelo Dawkins for putting the Miracle Whip on the sandwich. When I tell you, I'll still like somebody put this man in some pads and give him the way he hit Brock.
He hit sticked him like he had no business being there.
Right, that was hit stick with from the game, from the Madden with they had Ray Lewis on the cover. Like that was
NFL Blitz. That's what that was.
Ooh,
like
that's exactly what it was. Like I that was a good match. Like I was happy to see that, because I thought it was just gonna be something that we can just kind of pass over, and not, it was gonna be like they wrestled and they did really good. But I was like Buck was saying, I was really shocked. I know Rhea and Charlotte had some history. I didn't know if it was gonna if they were gonna actually go, and they got to going, man, and I really, really enjoyed it. The only match I would say from that they could have kept was the I really just don't like the some of the legends they bring, but I love Trish, I do, and I love Lita, but Lita was moving slower than by the slowest Snoop Dogg was when he was doing that people's elbow. Like
she definitely she was touching them ropes. She wasn't hitting them.
She was not.
So, man, my thing was, I think all of NXT Stand and Deliver had great, like you said, top to bottom. Shout outs to Dawkins for
yeah.
Like, I think that made him, for like, to me, that was his Wrestlemania moment. Like,
it was.
And like, cause like I still, okay,
and like, cause you ain't. I'll say this: the only time I've seen Brock get thrown around, Ron get thrown around, is by maybe by I guess you put Brock Lesnar in there. That was a really long time I've seen Braun just kind of tossed around. Maybe because I don't think almost did Braun like that. But when I tell you that hit, and you like literally it blew Braun up, bro. So that was a fire. That was good. He been hitting the weights. He been in that weight room.
Yeah, they said they're not Marty Jannetty and him. He said he is not doing it. He said y'all go notice me. And he's been doing really good. Like I know we talked about last time, like, he's not like Top Dollar. He don't get caught up on them top ropes. He be jumping. He be getting them.
He does.
Did y'all catch the little jab Michael Cole threw at him on the SmackDown? Yeah,
he was like, "Who's your pick, Michael Cole?" And he's like, "Top Dollar," because he's not gonna go over the top rope.
That was funny. So, I was like, "Shots fired."
But if I had to do it, give me a top match for night one, it would have to be the tag team match, just because like it was super kicks left and right, like they ate them, like a bunch of them.
They did.
And then night two was cool, like, you know what I mean, but it felt like the people that felt like they didn't have to prove themselves was on that night. And
I can see that.
I can see that too.
And so like then it made it seem kind of crazy because, hey, You had this opportunity to do something big, and you chose not to. I mean, I wasn't surprised about how Cody and Roman kind of ended.
Yeah, I know people were suspecting Roman to drop the belt. I was not. I told you before when we picked, I said I didn't have Roman losing. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have. I give that man 1,000 days, bro. Let that man hold it. Go ahead and have it or whatever. I know we did. I think we all picked for kind of went with Oscar taking. I just knew they were gonna get Oscar, put the belt on Oscar.
I wanted them to put it on Oscar just because I need Bianca to develop her character more. Like, because right now I feel like it's stagnant because now that she says it, like she's been in 3 WrestleManias, she's been the same person, in the character in all 3 of them. Yeah, like I love when she had like that little spark, like that little edge to her. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like now that she's like the face, she can't be like,
right.
Why are you doing this? Like, you don't even go here. What you doing here?
Yeah, she's too much of a baby face. Like I want some like some. I told you because if you go back and listen to that episode when we talked about it, like we were all like, I would love to see her and the Street Profits just do a big 180, full 360, and just give us a good heel turn and just be completely different. Like like I said, they ain't got to go with no stereotype stuff, but like give us some good heels. Like just like I told you, I said if she dropped the belt, and I think what I was saying, my kind of vision was she dropped the belt, and like through the summer she just lose, and then at all the big pay-per-views, and then some like she snapped after that last one, she just kind of snapped, and it just go into this rage and just be just unbeatable Bianca, like a heel. Just I would love that.
I got you beat. Well, I got you beat on what I want them to do. I want the Street Profits to join the Hurt Business. I want them to beat up Shelton and Cedric. Then, like, it's already documented that Tez and Bianca are together. She's like, hey, I don't recognize you and who you are, and this, and this. And he turns her, and she becomes like the woman of the Hurt Business. Because she's like, listen, aren't you tired of people, thinking you a joke? Like they think they should come with you at respect. You know what I mean? And all it takes is that one person that comes up that's with, she just goes and gives them one hell of a clothesline.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I feel like gets lost in the shuffle, because night 1 was definitely better than night 2, but the one match, I take that back. I like the Hell in a Cell match. Give me the triple threat for the IC title as my favorite match.
That's definitely mine.
That match got lost in the shuffle, but it was so good. That whole arena, including the announcers, gave the 3 of them a standing ovation.
Oh, yeah, I already know.
Michael Cole was like, listen, they are beating the hell out of each other. Like he all of his professionalism went all the way away. So
all the way away.
he was like, oh, because then I remember Titus was out there. Titus was like, hey, he don't hit me like that.
Exactly. He's like, I know that. I heard.
He said, I'm retired. He said, I'm an ambassador now. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I think that was like the sleeper one, but like there were so many, like you said, there were so many big matches that kind of got lost in the shuffle. Like I think they could have spaced everything out. But yeah, it was really good though. Now we talked about that. What do you guys feel about like the overall rating of WrestleMania? If you give it like either, you can give it a letter grade, you can give it a number stars.
If I had to give it a letter grade, I'm gonna give night 1 an A+. I'll give night 2. I'll give night 2 an A. Stand and Deliver gets an A+.
Yes. Husky, what you got?
So I'm gonna include everything. So and with night 1 being a standout night, which includes night 1 of WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver. Night 2, I'm gonna give it a A minus for the entire weekend. Like night 2 had the love. Like so I did enjoy, like, the triple threat match was one of my favorite matches. I even enjoyed the championship match with Roman and Cody. Like I kind of called some of that. Like I told you, Solo wasn't gonna be too far away from that ring, but I kind of called some of that. But that was probably on the lower end. However, the entire weekend, man, everything, like, this is one of the better WrestleManias I've seen in a while. I'm giving this, with Stand and Deliver included, I'm giving it an A minus. I don't know, you know what? I'm just gonna give it an A. Leave it at that.
No.
And it was really good, really good.
Yeah, if I have to think about Stand and Deliver, because all the matches were really, really good. The tag team matches were good. Like the women's tag team match was cool. They had the ladies ladder match. I enjoyed it all the way through. And then so that one's going to get an A. And night 1 is definitely getting an A plus, because there was usually, you have to have a match where you're like, all right, I can go get this. Like, even though it was like the women's like triple threat, that one where I was just like, I can probably miss something, but short of that, like everything else was hidden. And night 2, I'm gonna give it an A minus. Like it was strong. Unlike Shane McMahon's, what is it? His quad that he pulled.
Man, bruh,
why was his old ass out there in the first place?
I was so weak. Literally, I said that is the most McMahon thing to do right there. Came in the ring. He went in the ring 2 minutes. The bell rung. He did he threw a couple punches and bloop on the ground. I said he done tore his whole everything.
Daddy, huh?
just like his daddy.
Man, that's the first thing that popped to my head. I saw him jump, and he was down on the ground. I say, "Oh Lord, he done pulled the Vince."
Exactly.
Because he tried to get up, and so it wasn't like he was in pain. But like, when you pull that quad, apparently, like, you can try to move, but then after that, there ain't nothing to kind of anchor you. So
right.
he tried to do that. He was like, "Uh-oh." And shout out to Snoop for coming through. It was just like, I'm going to run my own match. Like, they may have had something similar or something like that in mind, but yeah. So
it was good, man.
So what did you? So now that we got the weekend out the way, earlier this week, Monday, they broke the news. Everyone did. That Endeavor, the parent company of UFC, had purchased WWE, and the big takeaway was that it got sold for $9 billion, $9.3 billion, and Vince would now be reinstated as the chairman of that company. They're going to rename WWE, and they are, and Vince is going to be hands-on in the creative process again. And people are saying that they could tell that he was hands-on in the creative process on Monday. So, fellas, I pose to you, with the sale of the company, do you think that this is going to be good for wrestling, or is this something that we just gonna have to take Vince out at the knees and be like, "Hey, sit down"?
Look, man, I knew. So I knew they were getting ready to merge or whatever. I watched because it's the Raw after Mania. You kind of tune in for that. So I'm tuned in. I'm watching, and I'm like, I'm seeming off about this. Just the whole night, I'm like, man, what's going on? And then it came down to the last match or whatever, and then Brock does his his thing and he turns or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm thinking like, oh shit, Brock done went off script again, and you know he goes through the end, then come out that you see or hear or find out that it shows Vince is in front, Vince is over creative now, or back in charge of creative, and I'm like, okay, that's the reason we got that crap for Monday Night Raw. I'm disappointed, man. Like I really hate that all Triple H thing built up. Like I really do hate it because everybody that's in NXT that don't fit the mold is unless something happen to Vince. What you said?
They're gonna stay down in NXT. Like
they gonna stay down. Yeah, they gonna stay down there. Like they go push Johnny back down there. They go do like that all the stuff like Vince. And unless something happen to Vince, I ain't saying something need to happen to him. I don't wish death on nobody. But you know,
not death, not the death.
You know, a little light stroke. You know,
something that puts him, that incapacitates him for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Just get him out of there, man. Like I don't. Oh man, then like I said, he's walking around with this just for men. I'm a French detective. I don't know what he's early for Halloween right here. Like I really don't want this man in charge of anything. He's gonna mess up everything that Triple H has built over the past few months or whatever.
8 months. So, Tony, what do you feel, man? How are you feeling about the situation?
Dejected. So I need to back up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this TikTok where this guy said that night 2 of WrestleMania felt like Vince saw everything that happened on night 1 and was just like, I don't like none of this, and changed everything. And that's why night 2 sucked. Then we get the Raw after Mania, which is like the Raw to go to. It's the Raw to tune into. And they said that Vince McMahon showed up 4 hours before showtime and was rewriting the entire night.
Yeah, I heard it. Heard it as well.
I saw a TikTok of Seth Rollins being told while he's standing in the ring during commercial.
I saw that as well.
Was being cut. Why wouldn't you have Bayley, who was scheduled for the night after, on that show? Then you spent the entire night building up this Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and Solo match, just to end the night like John Cena and Brock Lesnar after WrestleMania, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was the one after when The Rock lost. Well, when Cena lost to The Rock, and then
that was 2028.
Yeah, 28. Because then 29 they ran it back.
Bro, so 11 years. It was literally the same finish.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell, bro, normally I can talk. I like to talk about the Raw after Mania. I like the surprises.
No surprises.
I felt that Riddle was coming back. I really expected Orton to come back during either the main event between Cody and Roman or on Raw. I feel like everything that we really have enjoyed over the last 8 months is about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably kiss Bray Wyatt goodbye again. You can probably kiss Hit Road, which they ain't doing nothing anyway. But
yeah, they
you know what I mean? I just everything that it was hard enough for me to get readjusted after they made all of the changes. And now it's like y'all gave us this fantastic show. And that's why when y'all saying they're gonna stay down there, I'm just hoping that they keep their hands off of NXT now, because we need something to hold on to that feels organic, and nothing that Vince McMahon does feels organic. Nothing.
I agree, man. It's crazy because I always tell people when I try to explain how it is with Vince McMahon, it's like Vince McMahon has all these toys, right? And all these toys are Transformer toys, but he only wants to play with them as cars or as airplanes. And then when people are like, hey, you can be able to make him into a robot, he's like, I hate robots. And then after that, like, you never get to see it. So it's sad to me, man, because like there's a lot of potential and you got to see that. And numbers show that, Vince was not doing a good job. And Triple H was doing an amazing job and bringing up numbers and putting people in new spots. Like, I would have loved to see, what was it? RK Bro come back and maybe like have a face-to-face with
Randy did come back, bro. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would have loved to have him come back with Sammy and KO and then be like, have a face-off there. That would have been a great one where, you have different styles clashing and having silly moments, but still being able to be serious. But they don't, man. They like, it's just like we're stuck with one person and one kind of wrestling, and that's not how that goes.
I'm gonna tell y'all something that's crazy too. No, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I think about how many black champions have flourished under Triple H's run. You look at Wesley, you look at Carmelo, you look at Bianca, Roman Samoan, but he's still, he's somebody of color. So you look at Roman. Like, I understand that Rhea's, there we go. Rhea's, foreign, but I tell you, I think that if Vince had anything to do with Night 2, Bianca probably would have, lost to Asuka. But Vince don't like putting titles on people who can't really speak English.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt like a Vince McMahon call, man. I don't know,
man. And that's the thing, like Triple H played into that one. You remember when Io and Asuka had, like, they was going at each other in Japanese, and then everybody was like, oh, she called her a bitch in Japanese, and like it was just one of those things that was like an organic like moment that nobody would have seen coming, and you can't really script like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like as wrestlers, we got to see more of their personality when Triple H was there. It was less scripted, so that therefore, you could really not like this person rather than, getting some trash person from that point or a personality.
Yeah, I agree.
I was just gonna, I forgot what I was gonna say, man, but I completely agree with, man. It's just, and it's so, my thing is, I understand y'all bought the company and everything, but my thing is, you see how the numbers were when Triple H was, they see the numbers, you see the numbers, everybody sees the numbers. So why are y'all still letting Vince run this? And he's gonna run into the ground, man.
I think the reason why because they see him as a figurehead, but they don't, because like if you're not like a diehard wrestling fan, Vince McMahon because you know of the WWE. So like they're like, okay, just like that's why Hulk Hogan's funky ass is still around. You know what I mean? Because people just know of him as a figurehead, as when you think of wrestling. And as a management position, you think of Vince, but like nobody is really following into like, hey, like they're just looking at the numbers. They're like, hey, they got a bomb ass TV deal that's getting ready to come up, and things like that. That's the only thing that they're looking at. They're looking at the numbers. They don't look at the product for real.
You want me to tell you the only other thing that I don't? I'm sorry. Go ahead, because I don't want to cut you. I don't want you to forget.
I was gonna say I completely agree, because they can't be looking at numbers, because it clearly, like, they clearly ain't looking at what they need to look at. But go ahead, go ahead. Bro.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how this is gonna affect like premium live events. Because the Peacock deal is good into 2022. But if you can't touch the Peacock deal, at least we're safe for a couple of years. But dude, UFC pay-per-views like $80.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying $80 for a WWE show. I love wrestling, but when I tell you the the piracy rate is gonna go up. You know it's gonna go up.
I got Cody already ready. Like,
you can't charge folks like back in the day. You know, you had your pay-per-views or whatever, but now you cannot charge people that much for these wrestling events. And the thing about that though, I think I thought the same thing, but the only thing I think the saving grace is wrestling sells out bigger arenas, so they make more money. They'll make more money overall from that than they would, like, because you know with UFC events, you know they have arenas, but the arena that they're in, like it is nowhere near as big as like a wrestling, like a pay-per-view. Like I said with Wrestlemania, both nights it was 80 plus thousand. That's a football stadium. That you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So they were in SoFi Stadium. That's the football stadium. That's 80,000 people, 80,000 plus people there, both nights, and they make their. I think they make the money, enough money from those. I'm hoping they don't get too damn greedy, but I hope they make enough money from that to where they can keep the pay-per-views and hopefully try to keep this TV deal the way it is with Peacock. You know, hopefully they can do that. That's my only hope on this, because like I said,
I think they're going to do something like, I think they're going to make their own like WWE network again, but it's going to be whatever with UFC and with WWE. So like, but it's going to be a pretty penny. It's going to be something up there. It's going to be up there like probably $20-$25 a month. Yeah. I think they're going to do something where like, so then if I want to watch WWE but I'm not interested in UFC, I'm gonna still have to buy it, but rather than it being like the $9.99 like they used to have for the WWE Universe, the network, it's gonna be like $20-$25, and they're gonna be like, hey, but you get eight, you get the WWE and you get the UFC, and they're not gonna give you a choice in the matter.
I don't know. You guys just have to wait and see, man. I really hope they don't do anything, because I love wrestling, but like Buck just said, I'm not about to pay $80 for a pay-per-view. 2, I love wrestling, but I'm not about to pay $20-$30 for a streaming service either. Like, I'm not paying $20-$30 a month to watch, catch Raw, NXT, all of them, and then maybe catch the pre-card of a UFC fight and still won't have to pay. Because I promise you I feel like they'll pull some bullshit like that, where you pay $20 a month, you do get your Raw or whatever. You may get Raw or whatever, SmackDown stuff live, NXT live. You better catch it the same night. And pay-per-views, you may get pay-per-views, but I think you'll get
pay-per-views. I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll make everything streamlined, and then you just have to pay it from there. And that's why they're gonna pay such a hefty charge, because UFC events every month that they have.
I don't think they're gonna do, but I still think they're gonna make you pay extra for the actual UFC. Like if you pay, see, that's what I'm saying. Even if you got the whatever they call, whatever they're gonna call it, whatever it's gonna be, like you may get the WWE pay-per-views, but if you also want the UFC pay-per-views, what they'll do is you'll get the pre-card along with the streaming. But you actually get the actual sale.
Or they'll give you a discounted rate.
So you're gonna, instead of it being $80, it'll be 40 or something like that. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was about to say. Because so UFC got to deal with ESPN. Mm-hmm. So ESPN if you got ESPN Plus, you get special UFC fight. But for like those really big pay-per-views, even paying for ESPN Plus, you have to pay like $80 for the UFC pay-per-view itself. Separately from the ESPN Plus subscription, and that's what worries
me. Yeah, I agree. They may do
that with WrestleMania. Then
that's what I'm saying, man. Tonight,
you may get the first night, and then at that, or you may get the NXT Stand and Deliver, but you won't get nothing else.
Yeah, that's why I say, man. That's why it's a slippery slope. And it's like, I understand they had to sell and all that stuff like that, or whatever Vince wanted to sell, because Vince just is a fucking asshole. But I really, really hope that the people that bought Endeavor Group or whatever, they don't get too damn greedy, because, and my hope is, even if they try to do something like that, I hope the people are smart enough to actually boycott it. I hope. Once again, that's a big hope, because it's folks out there that just go, they don't care. They live for it, and I get it. I enjoy it, but they live for it, and they're just gonna go along with it like the damn puppets they are. But I hope it's enough people that be like, you know what, I ain't paying for this shit, and find other ways. But you will never know until it actually happens. So I say that I have the same hope for people in buying Madden, broken game of Madden every year, but they don't have any. So.
Well, we're gonna close it on out here. Before we do, I want to do just one quick thing. So so here at the Blerd Syndicate, we are actually going to have a panel for the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. It's going to be on Sunday. We're going to have what's called Anime Court. So we're going to have two sides, and they're going to decide, like, say for instance, we're going to have a case against dub versus sub, and you're going to hear from both sides, and then you as a crowd, you as the panel, are going to be able to decide whether or not dub is better or sub is better. So you'll have something like that. That's just one of the court cases that we have for that hour. And then after that, you can be able to come and kick it with the cool kids. So I wanted to definitely point that out.
I'll be signing autographs.
He will. He'll be in attendance. So Eternity, you got anything special going on, man?
Man, honestly, not right now. My birthday's next Monday, so I'm gonna be kicking it hard this weekend.
Hey.
But other than that, man, I'm just glad to be here. It's always a pleasure to talk wrestling with y'all. So,
hey, there you go.
You're getting ready to go do something else too, just in a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, you're right, man. Okay, so I am also a part of the Safe Word on the 2020 podcast. LLC network. I'm actually, when I get out of here, we're about to go live on the Safe Word. So y'all make sure that y'all go like the 2020 podcast. LLC, go like the Safe Word. But you can find us on YouTube and Twitch. We're gonna be streaming too. So as soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna go over there. I'll probably pick up in about 10 minutes.
All right. Well, so what I want you guys to do, if you can do anything for me, I want you to be like, not like Hulk Hogan, but just like the Incredible Hulk. I want you to smash that follow button, and we will love you 3,000. But until then, if you're not with the BS, we got 2 words for you, and that's join us. So until then, we out.